Hey everybody, I'm Bill Jackson. I'm President and CEO of Rockford Corporation, and I'm here today to talk about the launch of the new Rockford Fosgate audio system in the 2021 Harley-Davidson portfolio. Pretty cool. So I have Jeff Holt, V-Twin visionary, with me today, kind of one of the original badasses in the motorcycle business and a real guy. And Jeff, welcome. Man,
thank you so much.
Glad you're here, man.
Glad to be here.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a lot of fun seeing the progress of this brand, you know, from the beginning, from it being car speakers jammed into motorcycles till what we're going to be talking about today.
Dude, it's just been such a crazy trip. I mean, I want to give you a little bit of background of kind of the whole program with Rockford and also with myself a little bit. So I started riding back in 1993, 1994. I had the ever popular Harley-Davidson Sportster 883 was my first bike.
Was your first jam?
That was my first jam, right? So I had that, and it was, it kind of got me into the culture for sure. And when you're on the sporty, you're kind of a wannabe into the big boy club, but kind of got you immersed in the deal.
Definitely.
Since then, I've had 27 Harley-Davidsons through the years, and love their product, love their brand. Have just been a big fan of their bikes, and I like to think back when the CVO piece started. Yeah. Since we're launching with the new CVO in 2021, I have had an FXR4. I had the yellow one.
That one, that bike is monumental for being the last of the FXRs and kind of the precursor to the CVOs.
It was for sure.
That bike is very transitional in Harley's history.
It was a great bike. Yeah. I mean, rubber mounted, rode great. Still, there's got the fanboys out there that love FXR platforms, and it was a cool piece. Man, I wish I had it today.
Oh, I bet, man. It's a collector's item now for sure.
Tell me about your motorcycle experience.
So for me, I grew up as a BMX kid. I did some skateboarding, but mostly two-wheel stuff. And that transitioned into a complete life of bicycles for 25 years. And then motorcycles came around. Harleys in general. I was never really a big dirt bike guy or a Japanese bike guy. Really just fell into the life of, punk rock, heavy metal, and Harley-Davidsons. And decided, I was going to make a career out of it, being a journalist within the Harley thing. I knew how to work on the bikes. I was an okay photographer, and I could string some words together. And with some encouragement of people, it became my life's work.
I mean, you've done some cool stuff. I mean, back when magazines were a big deal, you did Baggers, you did Hot Bike. I mean, you did a lot of...
Yeah, we did pretty good. We swung that bat big. We're the largest, custom Harley magazines in the world. To this day, the bottom kind of fell out of that. And V-Twin Visionary, which is my company, started after we parted ways with Hot Bike and Baggers. And it's been a trip, man.
It's pretty cool. And you do a lot of stuff today as an influencer, but also as a tester or a validator of products. And you're kind of known for being a no bullshit guy.
Yeah, right? I mean, I really have, I grew up around a lot of no bullshit kind of people, and learning that your word is your bond. And I really just want to convey quality and purpose-built stuff as being, a number one over... a lot of junk, and I don't pull punches. It's kind of the way I do. I've been known to be that kind of person as far as an editor and a journalist.
I like it. I'll tell you one of the coolest things I think I learned about you is what a manic traveler you are. I mean, I've read some of the stories about you jumping on a bike and going halfway across the country or across the country with, a wad of cash and nothing else, your jeans and that's it. And you get out and just bang it out.
It's been that thing, I traveled a bunch when I worked for Hot Bike. Luckily, I traveled with their credit card. I got to see the world and report on motorcycling around the world with, Asia, Europe, everywhere. And I got that travel bug. And then, when it came to V-Twin Visionary, of course, I was monetarily restrained for a little while. And then with the COVID as well, that travel restrictions and the travel bans and all that, I was like, I need to get out. There's nothing better to do than social distance on a motorcycle. Amen. It's the easiest thing to do. I've done a couple trips across the country by myself. put my fiance Maggie on the back for a couple of them, and then we have disorganized group rides with people.
Right on.
People joining up all around where we go. First one was from Virginia to California. Then we did one from Daytona Beach to Phoenix to Sturgis, and we've got 4 more going on in 2021.
Awesome. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So on-bike entertainment's a big deal, I'm sure, for you,
Yes.
right? I mean, be able to listen to good sounds or catch weather or news or whatever you're doing. It matters. So, and of course, it's a big thing for us. And I just want to give you a little background on kind of how we got to where we're at with
Sure.
the Rockford audio system. So I'll start with the brand alignment. So I can tell you, I've been at Rockford for 25 years. And when I first joined, I was coming from the retail and rep environment. I'd been a retailer for over a decade back in the Midwest, Rockford dealer, and was always a big fan of the product. Always loved Rockford Fosgate. At the end of my career in retail, I got into the Harley piece and started riding. And when I got to Rockford, we always used to talk about over beers and things, wouldn't it be cool if?
Right.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could get Rockford Fosgate and Harley-Davidson together? And it would just it'd be magical. American icon companies, original seeds in their industry. I mean, kind of really special. That was a great beer drinking thing to talk about, by the way. And then it kind of got real for me. So several years ago, I had a customized Street Glide that I had built locally here in Phoenix. And it was a sick bike. I mean, beautiful, beautiful job. Paul Yaffe built the bike for me. And we did a full audio system in it. And it was all Rockford Fosgate car products that we had in it. And I had double 6x9s in the bag lids, and I had 6.5 speakers in the
sign of the times.
A sign of the times, right? So candidly, it just didn't perform. I mean, as a rider, I remember I went to an event up at the Cardinal Stadium and was riding back 80 miles an hour at night, helmet on, and I couldn't hear the news. And I'm running wide open on this system with car stuff in it. And it just,
it's a $4,000 system in there.
It didn't work, right? It didn't perform. And I came back to the guys and I said, this sucks. I mean, we've got to do better than this. If we're going to be in this space, right, we just can't take what we have and drop it in and think it's going to be good enough, because the rider expects more.
And firsthand, that car audio and motorcycle audio are wholly two different things.
Dude, two different deals.
For sure.
Completely two different deals. So I will give our team credit. They took a blank sheet of paper and they started on this project. And they did some purpose-built units that were lightweight, high output, great performance, weatherproof, integrated correctly in the bike, didn't change the bike's riding dynamics. I didn't have 70 pounds of speakers in the saddlebags. Right. I mean, it was done appropriately, right? And we came out with an aftermarket solution several years ago for the Harley platforms that was exceptional. It was exceptional. So this is kind of the next step. I mean, that's still a great piece of our business and a growing piece of our business.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, I've used it all, and with great success.
And you've had it, right?
It's easy to install. The stuff just works out of the box. You don't have to get all weird with it. It's really the aftermarket stuff that you guys have come out with over the past, 3 or 4 years has been insane.
Absolutely solid. So when this opportunity came up to work with the motor company to be able to do something that was truly purpose-built on an OEM level, in essence, reset the deck on what that performance metric needs to be for the rider. And I think that's the crazy thing is this system just isn't great sitting in a showroom or great sitting in your driveway. It's great riding it. So you're one of the first cats. You actually got to ride one of the first ones.
I can go on for days on this stuff. I mean, first of all, when the team reached out to me and said, we're doing audio with Harley-Davidson, I was like, great, I love Rockford stuff. I've had it in a bunch of vehicles. I used it aftermarket. But in all honesty, okay, they're speakers. Yeah, you're going to plug the speakers in. They got Rockford Fosgate on the little thing down there, and it's got the Harley thing up on the top. Great, all well and good. Saw some photos of it, and then I came down here and listened to it. And everything that just when the bike was standing still, it was great. Like the audio, the stage 1's really good. The stage 2 8 speaker system blew my mind. No joke. I mean, anybody that's ever seen any of my stuff on V2 and Visionary, the day I came back, I was sworn to secrecy, and now I can talk about it. It was nothing short of monumental. And there's a lot of things that I think people don't understand. It's not just plugging some speakers into some wires. It's a dynamically charged system. And you don't really understand that till you hit the go button and you hear the audio at full stop at a stoplight. Then at 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour, the audio quality changes. Now, I don't know how it does it. I'm sure it does something with the accelerometer in the stereo in the bike and whatever, but the bass changes, the mid changes, the high changes, and this is nothing like this has ever been done before. And you can expand on it for days probably, but I mean, I think you should kind of tell the people out there how the design team did it, how it sounds so rich and so full, and how you put it together with your iPhone. It's all tuned with your iPhone. It's the best of every world. It's crazy.
It truly is. I mean, I think when you start with a blank sheet of paper and you're working with the motor company, you really can expand the limits because the architecture's open.
And I think with the CAN bus system in the motorcycles now, it is unbelievable. When that came out a few years back, a lot of people weren't down with that. A lot of people that are Harley riders don't understand or
Didn't
change.
Yep.
Oh, I can't cut my wires. Oh, I can't turn my turn signals off. Oh, I can't change my gauges. But this stuff is amazing technology.
But you hit on a couple things that I think are really key. Really key. One, the system can dynamically adjust with speed and volume. And that's a big deal because your needs and wants when you're sitting in the parking lot are going to be different than if you're going 80 with a full face helmet on.
Agreed.
Right? And because I've seen you ride with a modular helmet, right? You'll pop it up and listen to it. Yeah. You'll be down depending on the weather. You live in Phoenix. It's hotter than a match head out here. So, things change. And so how you ride is going to change.
And mind you, it doesn't just change with the speed of the bike like it already does, like the head unit already does. Every tone changes.
Absolutely.
With the speed.
It's optimized.
It's optimized.
And so through DSP technology that we're using in the main amplifier, it allows us to do that across the whole system. And we've got plenty of horsepower. I mean, you need a lot of power in the bike to do that. You need speakers that are aligned correctly to the rider and also to the passenger in the back. And there's a lot of cone area in there. When you have the 8-speaker system, as you heard, it gets after it.
Oh, it's straight loud. It's PA system loud.
Yeah, I think. And again, you've spent more time in the saddle than I have on those bikes for sure. But it truly is a new benchmark.
Yeah. I mean, there's no joke about that. There's no marketing spin that you could put on this. No. It just works. I tell people all the time, go to the dealership, get on a new CVO, turn it on. You'll want to put it in your own bike.
Totally agree. It really does set the bar differently.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think the funny thing is when we think forward, where do we go from here?
More power.
I mean, just more. And I think that's what I wanted, at least put out to you is I think we're just getting started. I know there's a lot of stuff that we're working on and thoughts, concepts, ideas that are coming down the pipe. So it's kind of the next step.
I think it's really cool to be able to plug into the computer of the bike and use it for your advantage. People just, a lot of people can't wrap their mind around that. They think it's like an old carbureted Magnelli Morelli fuel injection bike where the only thing electronic is the fuel getting delivered into it, and that's it. Yep. This is 2021. Motorcycles aren't built like that anymore.
100%.
This is bordering on, the crazy future of everything.
Yeah. I think one of the things that our team talked about is we looked at a 4-speaker system that would be on a CVO and the upgrade path for consumers and how they can take the system and make it better and add on to it and continue to improve the performance. It's such a cool thing.
You can go to the dealership and buy 2 of the 8 speakers, then have 4, then have 6. As your budget allows, you can have that same system at the end of the day that as your wallet can pay for it. And I think that's really cool. it's not a carrot that you guys dangled like, oh, you can only get on the CVO.
Right.
But to be able to say, hey, this is what you can have on your standard. This is what you could have on Street Glide, Road Glide.
Yep.
I think that's I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really proud of the partnership, not only with yourself, man, because you, as I mentioned before, you're an original badass in this business, and you have a great reputation, and you're also an OBS guy. So you've had a chance to listen to it and experience, and I appreciate your candor, and
Sure.
I appreciate you doing this for sure.
Yeah.
And I can also tell you, Rockford's very proud of the relationship with Harley-Davidson. We think it's great. And hats off to the Rockford team, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they've done a really good job from an engineering, product development, and even on the marketing side, sales side of the piece. They've done a phenomenal job.
I agree entirely. All the engineers I talked to, and when I interviewed everybody separately and got to talk, and they're just excited with their slice of the pie as the whole and what they would be able to do. And I'm not sure how many years this was coming and put together, but I know it didn't happen overnight.
Nothing happens overnight.
Yeah, and to be able to do something monumental in the motorcycle industry electronically that a lot of people don't think about that is really cool.
I know. It's super cool.
And it just comes from being the little company who wanted to do it correctly in the beginning.
Yeah.
And now the company's not so little and the audio's great. It's like it just shows that no matter what, you're taking your time to make sure the facets of the market have the best stuff, whether it's, side-by-side stuff, Harley stuff, aftermarket motorcycle stuff, truck, car, anything.
100%. I think, our guys like doing it the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of half-ass ways to do things or quick-to-market ways to do things. One thing I'm proud of, whether it's in the aftermarket car space, motorcycle side-by-side, or OE side-by-side motorcycle, we do the right way.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we do.
I agree.
Right? That's what we do.
It just coming here over the past, few months doing this stuff with the Harley stuff, it's just seeing stuff roll out and the show vehicles and the hero bikes and all the other stuff. Like, you guys don't miss a trick when it comes to that stuff.
Thank you.
And that's what gets people excited and motivated to be Rockford Fosgate owners and fans and everything else.
I hear you.
You back it up with technology.
Yep.
And thoughtful design. And that's really cool.
You made a comment to me, and we'll close with this. The product performs way better than you thought it was going to perform.
Oh, yeah, it did. I've heard everybody's marketing jive on every single wingding part. And when it comes to electronics, I always have this, I'm just a Harley guy, so electronics are secondary to what I care about motorcycles. And as of the Milwaukee 8 motor, it's very electronically driven, and the new Harleys are, even the live wire, everything else is, to come out of that rabbit hole of being a motorhead and understanding that the electrics are just as important.
Yep.
And now you guys being able to add on to the top of that, it's very impressive to me. Things that are almost like, sci-fi witchery, magical stuff is happening on your bike that 100%. You don't know about.
Yep.
Like
it works.
The sensors and this and that and the other.
It works.
It's super cool how great it works.
It works. Thank you. Always good to see you.
Always good seeing you.
I can't wait till we can do it again.
Agreed.
Sounds good.
Gotta have some more beers then, though.
100%.
All right.
I'm buying.
Beautiful.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.